everyone, and welcome to the first episode of your new podcast, our new favorite podcast, Democracy Fight Club. Before we start, let me tell you a little bit about what is Democracy Fight Club. If it reminds you of Fight Club, the movie, not a coincidence. That was our first thought as well. But let's leave Edward Norton's role on a side and focus on why we're here today. As young people from a little heart-shaped country in the middle of the Balkans, we share the fight of our peers around the world, fight for democracy. So that's it, folks. We want to be a place where you can tune in and listen to youth from across the globe talking about their countries, about what they are doing to champion democratic values, and what all of us can do together to make this world a better place for all of us. In the coming months, those will be our goals. We are three youth leaders from Bosnia and Herzegovina: Vedrana Vujovic, Malik, Sakic, me, and Mensur Seferovic, who unfortunately is not here with us today, but he will definitely be in the upcoming episodes. We are working together, supported by the International Republican Institute, and helping advancing democracy worldwide. So let's do that. I can imagine definitely better a host than our host today to start with this. His name is Bukola Idowu. I hope I said that correct. He is from Nigeria, and he describes himself on Twitter, career and life coach, and we would add youth and good governance advocate. Welcome, Bukola.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you for agreeing to be our guest in the first episode of the Democracy Fight Club. So we were thinking what would be the best possible way to start our conversation today, and what is the best connection of Bosnia and Nigeria, and we thought of an event that happened in 2014 during the Football World Cup. I think it was 22nd of June 2014, and I don't know if this is really a painful subject with people in Bosnia, because there was a situation. We got called offside. All of us agreed that it wasn't offside. I don't know. Did you watch that game?
Yes, I saw that game, and such an interesting interesting game. Luckily, Nigeria won.
Yeah.
Before then, we've not won any match. In the last two World Cup. In fact, we've not won in the last 16 years. So that was our first win, and it was great.
Awesome.
When I was watching the match, I was very sad when Edin Denko scored the first goal, but I was happy when the referee disqualified it. Wow. So okay. At some point, we took our advantage.
We wanted to hear from you in your personal opinion as someone who is from Nigeria. Do you think was it offside or not?
No, of course that was not an offside. I am sure if that happened today, I'm sure the video assistant referee will have overruled that decision. So, but.
I can't imagine even how happy you were, and it was actually our first World Cup, and we won the game later against Iran, I think, but if I think if that goal was regular, we would go to the after the group stage to the disqualifying phase, but. Hey, but it's good. No worries.
Those type of referee mistakes do happen in football.
Yeah, definitely.
But thankfully, the VAR now is assisting. And that is why I said if it had been played now, probably it would have been a different.
Yeah,
different
but
ball
thank
game.
you. Like this is the first time that we actually have someone from Nigeria saying that it wasn't an offside. So this is a historic moment for our country, I would say.
Yes, the analysis shows that I still watch that today. I still watch that today. I still watch. I went on YouTube, saw
Yeah.
that, and the analysis shows that it was not. But then, in 2014, the verdict of the referee was the final, so it couldn't be overruled.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. I mean, thank you so much for talking about this, and I definitely want the best results for your and our country in the upcoming matches when it comes to football. So after we dealt with this important issue, we can start about the questions of what do you actually do and why are you here and Vedrana, I don't know if you want to start with.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Vedrana and I'm from Sarajevo, also a member of the Democracy Fight Club. Thank you, Bukola, again for having us here and recording this podcast with us. So we want to talk about Nigeria. So except football, that it wasn't an offside. For people listening in Bosnia and in the Western Balkans region, what would be three words that you use to describe Nigeria, except football?
Well, Nigeria, Nigeria basically is the most populous black um, nation. I mean, in the world, and that is what we have. We have population of 200 million people presently, and it is also projected that we're going to increase and more than that in the coming years. So that one is that. And again, Nigeria is actually blessed with a lot of human and natural resources. And one another way we describe ourselves in Nigeria, and which I believe we are truly are, is the giant of Africa. We say we are the giant of Africa. Of course, in terms of economy, one of the largest economy in Africa sub-region. We also have but one thing that is striking for us is Nigeria returned to democracy in 1999. So we are not a well-developed democracy, and which we are improving, and that makes it interesting. After a long years of military rule in 1999, we returned to democracy, and we have been trying to develop over the years. So, and what another good thing about Nigeria is that Nigeria is like I said, 200 million population, but 65% of the 200 million, which is around 135 million, are young people between the ages of 18 to 35, 36, young people. And then again, so we have a lot of youth population, and this is Nigeria, and so we are the giant of Africa.
That's awesome. I think when it comes to Bosnia, we have around 700,000 of young people. So there's a huge difference in the numbers, but it's definitely awesome to hear those kind of information. And I think it comes around population here, it's around 3.2 or 3.4 million. So there's a huge gap among.
As a matter of fact, our the register of voters in Nigeria, the register of voter people that are registered to vote, the current one we are using is 84 million. 84 million registered voter, and out of the 84 million, we have around 42 million young people. So the distance
Wow. Wow.
is much.
Yeah, that is something we can't even imagine at this point. Then, uh, when it comes to you and your work, come from a, I would say, very important organization in Nigeria. It's called Kimpact Development Initiative, KDI, I think.
Yeah.
That is a youth-focused, non-profit, non-governmental organization that advances good governance, democratic rights, public policy, public engagement, and sustainable economy. My question here is how do you do that? How do you guys do that?
Yes, basically KDI, Kimpact Development Initiative, was our focus has always been in those three thematic areas you mentioned: the youth development, good governance, policy advocacy, and our focus, everything we do around that, even in elections, young people have always been the focus of that. And like I said, when you look at the population of Nigeria, we have 200 million, the population 130 million young people. Out of the 130 million, we have like about just a few 42 million young people register to come and vote. So that is a huge population. In West African have close to like about 14 to 15 African countries, and none of them is above 19 million, and so which means that even the our voting population, young people voting population is more than like about 13 countries in Africa. So that is huge. And again, one of the reasons why we now begin to look into that is that as I'm talking to you now, in the federal cabinet in Nigeria, in the governance structure of Nigeria, yeah, we don't have any young person that is less than maybe 40 in the cabinet. We don't have that is less than 40. I'm not even talking about less than 35. So we don't even have anybody that is less than 40. So the average age range starts from 55. Even our president is going to 80 years old, of course. So that is what we have. So and it's most times when we look at this, there is likely going to be a generational gap. And when I say generational gap, is because there has not been a systemic mentorship. So when eventually it's still going to be the turn of the young people, but we believe they need to participate now. We need to participate in governance now so that we will be rightly mentored, at the same time be able to contribute when it is even the time fully. And that is why we focus on this. So we do that in about 4 different ways. So number one thing we look at is participation, like I talked about. So participation in election. So we mobilize young people to come out to register to vote in elections. Number 2, we also look into participation in governance. And that is why my organization, KDI, work with some other allies, other youth groups. We led that coalition to advocate for a development commission for young people, and also to advocate for policy that talks about young people should be given a quota in cabinet in elective offices. And when I say elective offices, when we choose a governor here that head a state, or when the president comes and they want to choose his cabinet, we just say, no, can you just give young people 30%? Let them just be 30% of your cabinet. For instance, if you have like 10-member cabinet, we are just say, oh, just give young people 3, and that is what we have. So that is in the angle of participation. And then again, one of the things we also did, we noticed there was a gap in age barrier, because initially you can't contest for any elective position in Nigeria if you are not up to 40 and above. So we joined KDI, also joined Kimpact, joined other coalition led by Yaga to advocate for reduction in the age at which you can contest, and that is what we popularly call not too young to run. So as of today now, Nigeria has amended the constitution to be able to bring in young people to contest at the age of 30, at the age of 35. So we do that again. And then in terms of elections, so one of the things we do again is that most young people don't want to go out and vote because of violence. So what we have been doing is also be advocating for peaceful participation in elections. So we campaign a lot around, we campaign a lot against electoral violence. And that has also, and for our election that happened recently, I've also seen a bit of increase in the turnout of young people because we advocated for electoral peaceful election participation. And the last thing I would just mention again is what we are now doing to actually systematically improve the democratic practices in the country and bring in more young people into governance. So we've started what we call Kimpat Democracy School. This is where we bring in young people, train them, and then they exchange ideas, come up with project policy, defend it, suggest, and then they pay visit to State House of Assembly and interact with the legislative arm of government, interact with the executive arm of government, so that they will be able to understand what this. So this is what we do in Kimpat. Just let me stop there. Among other things we've been doing.
That's awesome. I just must say, sorry, Vedrana, for interrupting you. That I think that you're just doing an amazing job, and it's definitely great to see young people all around the world. I mean, it's kind of sadly that we have to still fight for democracy around the world, but it's definitely great to see young people who are ready to be engaged and who are definitely doing an amazing job. Once again, Vedrana, sorry for interrupting.
I was gonna say something like, just like Malik, that it's a very amazing job that you do with your team and your organization here in Nigeria, because maybe it's not my business from Bosnia, but when we talking about democracies, it's a worldwide democracy, and it's very good. Since we have that in Bosnia here, last Sunday we had local elections, and you said that you are doing some really good job with your organizations and the youth in Nigeria with the elections. So what do you think, maybe what are your tips for maybe getting out the vote for more? Or how do you motivate young people in Nigeria to get out on the elections, to maybe be part of the governance, be part of the local councils and any kind of other representatives institution?
Well, I think, like you said, democratic practices around the world are the same, which is about participation. It's about people, coming to participate in decision making, in governance, and for us in Nigeria, one of the things we have been doing is to do, number one, serious campaign, sensitization. Initially, young people voter apathy is high because in Nigeria, when there is election, there is total shutdown of the system. Total shutdown of the system in the sense that you are not going to, there's not going to be movement. So we focus on the election that day. You don't go to work. It's more like a public holiday. So you don't go to work, and then you just everybody wants to go and vote. But young people use the opportunity to watch Premiership, to watch La Liga, and they don't want to come out and vote. So it's an opportunity also for them to rest. So what we've been doing is we've been making people to see the implication of not participating. Because when you don't participate, you are going to abide with the decision of the few people that participated in that election. And whatever they decide, then you are going to stick with that for the next 4 years. So the best thing our approach has always been making people to see the implication of voter apathy, making people to see the implication of you not participating in the election. And again, when you don't participate in the election, when you don't participate in the governance, you are leaving it for people that doesn't even have the idea that you have, that can improve the society, develop the society. You are leaving it for people that doesn't even have the capacity you have, and whatever decision they make, whatever policy they make, we are going to stay abide by it. So the best thing is every one of us coming together to come and participate in the election. So we have to do a lot of sensitization. And one of the things we are also doing now is to advocate for legislative reforms. That is, our laws in Nigeria need to be reformed, and that we encourage young people to participate. And what do I mean by that is this. Presently in Nigeria, our voting system is manual. So what we have been advocating, because our electoral laws does not allow electronic voting. So what we are now advocating for is that young people like internet, they like techie, they like technology, they love tech. So what we are advocating for is that can we begin to look into electronic voting? And by the time so young people, we want to vote. Now, our current electoral system, if it doesn't allow you to vote anywhere you are, so it is where you register 4 years ago. That is where you should stay to vote. So, and young people, schools, they move. You want to go and study in another place, university, and during election you may not be back to where you register. And then young people that that are working have been transferred. So many a times they couldn't come back to vote where they register. So we are advocating for electronic voting that will allow you to vote where we are. So we're going to see more people are coming into participation. And I think again, and it's general, we need to do more sensitization across the world for young people to come out and vote. And that is where it starts from. We need to do it online, offline, and most importantly, one of the ways we did that in the last state government election, where we did vote not fight, was to bring in entertainment. So we have a popular musician, a popular artist. So we had a concert. So young people turn out for the concert. So we have a lot of them gather for the concert, and from there we told them the importance. So you see, young people, we need to begin to bring in entertainment that young people want, and then from there pass the message in terms of sensitization to them. And then I think that has been working for us. I know it can work anywhere.
That would definitely be great, and I think that with your passion that you have for democracy in Nigeria, that you will definitely accomplish the stuff that you're doing. I just want to say that I'm noticing a lot of similarities when it comes to Bosnia and Nigeria. And when you were talking about the age gap, we also we constantly joke, but about the average, about how old are the average politicians in Bosnia, and most of them in the state parliament are over 55 or over 60, and there aren't definitely a lot of young people, and we just finished with the local elections here, and votes are not counted yet. They are in the process, but in my personal opinion, a good thing that I saw is an increasement of young people, I think, within the local councils, and we also got, I think, the first mayor who will be under the years of 30. So that is definitely great, and I think all of the good stuff that I think you are doing within your organizations and that we are doing here in Bosnia will definitely show results within the process. But the most important stuff is just to be engaged and definitely to be as passionate about it as possible. and I also think like it's important to have young people in offices, but like in your personal opinion, why is it important to have more youth in office, and what is the way that we can happen? Like do you have any tips or anything? I don't know.
Why is it important to have young people in politics? And that is one of, again, that is one of our program for 2021 now, and is that we want to start advocating for young people to join political parties. So let them start joining political parties, and then from there begin to make their contribution. But if you ask me, why is it important for young people to join political party? For I think of governance is because of what I call a long-term development plan that is sustainable. And the reason is this: there's something I used to say in Nigeria. When you see the 60-year-old man in the parliament or as the governor, and I keep saying the focus should be the people that if you double their age, if you multiply their age by 2, and they will still be relevant, those are the people that should be the focus. Now, and when you have 60-year-old man, multiply that by 2, and it's going to give you like about 120. At 120 years, the man is not, and then we now neglect somebody that is 35, that if you multiply by 2, is still going to be relevant. Or we neglect 26-year-old man. You understand? So the focus should be the people that if you multiply their age by 2, they will still be relevant. So now imagine the policy, the development that will happen when you find 30-year-old man in governance now, or 30-year-old woman in governance now. So now sustainability of policies, sustainability of development is at least is guaranteed. So I think it's very, very important. And again, one of the things we need to also understand is we need to understand the dynamism of the context we are in now. And what I'm trying to say is this: this is a technological age. We, the young people, can actually engage the system. Now, my father and my grandfather, if we keep talking about 5G network or 6G network, is alien to them. They don't understand what the essence of that. So what it means is that, but you know that without internet, you can't advance, do much in this generation. So why not bring the people that can speak the language of this generation into the governance and let them begin to engage the system? Then you will now begin to see creativity. You will now begin to see development. And that is why it's necessary for young people to come in. But what are the tips? What are those things we need to begin to do? One, we need to now begin to engage the system. Young people don't need to stay back. Let's engage the system. And when I say engage the system, let's begin to act as simple as asking questions. It's so important. Young people should ask questions about governance, about the budgets of the state, about the process of the state of the country, and we can do that in various ways. That does, even at the social media, you can tweet, you can ask questions, you can participate, you can suggest, but we must not stand aloof and as if, oh, the older people, the 60-year, 70-year-old people, just do it, we will be following. No. And again, for instance, I give you this quick example. We have, there was a law that was passed in the country, and the law talks about doing business, how you can do business. And the people that passed the law, number one, none of them have even done business. Many of them are professional politicians, so they've not done business before. They passed the law without even the e-commerce, the globalization angle to it. How much can we make from internet and a whole lot of things like that were not, if the technological aspect were not even taken care of. So, and that is why I believe anything for the youth without the youth is not actually for the youth, because you are deciding for them without their input. They know what they want. So I think we need to do, young people need to engage the system. We need to now begin to advocate for even technology in governance. And I think that can also attract young people. I want to sit in my house and be able to contribute to the parliament and be able to send an email and say, this is my thoughts about this policy you are thinking. So do we even have an e-governance system? So these are the tips we need to begin to look at, and to begin to attract the young people, and we need to begin to advocate for this.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, I just, my next question was about that, about some tips and some how to motivate, or I mean, what are the projects that will motivate young people to get more engaged in elections, in office, and especially to get more engaged in politics in any other way, not just from the maybe political party or NGOs, just to engage, just to think about the future, think about ourselves, our futures. Because here in Bosnia, I mean, maybe have a longer history of the democracy, of the parliamentary system, but youth in Bosnia are not so much engaged in that politics, in politics life in Bosnia. So we are trying from year to year, from the elections to elections, to motivate them to get more engaged. One of these campaigns were Get Out the Vote campaign, Don't Vote, Choose. We did it with Iri and Alpi and 25 young people from around Bosnia. They are from NGOs, they are from civil society, they are from political party. And I think that because Malik said that we are still in that kind of process of counting the votes. So I think that results of the getting young people to go to the elections will be much higher than the last year, because we did that online campaigns, and we did that, we learned them to know why it's important just to be part of this election system, or maybe just to go and choose their friends, their families. There are so many candidates on our election list. So I don't know what to ask you, anything, because you just partly said everything that I wanted to ask you, but maybe you can send some advice to our friends and family and our listeners in Bosnia and worldwide, around the world. What is your advice to young people who wants to fight for democracy? Is it any way, maybe good way, maybe it is online, it's on the streets, it's on the, I don't know, some kind of protest? How to engage more people to follow some idea, follow some democratic idea, and spread these the democratic values? Is there any your advice that we can share with our listeners?
Yes, I think I can see a lot of similarity between Bosnia, Nigeria, and a lot of similarities. At the same time, one of the things we have been doing is to begin to advocate for a lot of reforms, and like I said, in terms of law, and the easiest way to get young people to participate in governance, in election, in democracy, one, we need to first of all look at our laws, probably in terms of appointments, and I want to put that appointment. The one we have, the appointive power that we have now, are we deliberately engaging the young people? Now, it is not about fighting for it. It is about also encouraging the young people. And that is why we said, okay, now you are going to have 10-member cabinet. Just appoint 3. to be young people. And that we encourage, motivate, and then they are put in the place where they have the capacity. So I think by appointment, and this advice is just to the decision makers. So we need to now begin to see, how do you appoint people? Just let's appoint young people. Then the second one, and this is we don't have that much in Nigeria, but I don't know about Bosnia, is that we need to now begin to have a structured mentorship system. A structured mentorship system. And for instance, most of the people in governance today that are 55, 60, 70, they have been there, but we don't have a structured mentorship system. How many fellowships do we have that people can actually go with outside the four walls of the school and then learn about governance, the importance of governance in a relaxed environment, in an entertaining manner? And for instance, if you're an artist, how is your music fusing into governance? And people need to understand that. How is sport fusing into governance? In Africa, George Weah, who happens to be the player for Liberia, and after he retired from football, came back, contested, and presently is the president of Liberia. So how does that? So there is a way, for instance, in Nigeria, that we have a lot of ethnic group. One of the things that unites us as a country is football in Nigeria. As at that time, when football is going on, nobody remembers the ethnic group you come from. Everybody is unite. We must beat Bosnia. Jenko must not score that goal. Everybody is with one accord.
It was an offside.
So we must win. Now look at how powerful
for our podcast.
How powerful sport is now. So we can, and every of these things fit into governance. So how do we harness sport into governance? And you will now begin to see more people coming in, and so there is no we should change our approach with the normal approach we'll be having. So we should have a multifaceted approach, take it from entertainment angle, take it from technology angle, take it from sport angle, and everything, even from the cultural angle. We must bring everything into that system. But for the young people, my advice is that we must fight for democracy. And that is what can give us voice. Democracy, one of the good things about democracy is that democracy gives you voice, ability to be able to express yourself, your opinion, your views. And there is nothing like freedom. There's nothing like freedom. So we are talking now is because there is democracy, it's because there is freedom. People need to read about situation under dictators. You will notice that it's not easy to live under a dictator. You don't have freedom of speech. You don't have freedom of movement. Your rights there is nothing like human rights. So we need to now begin to look into this, that the best form of governance is democracy, and we must fight for it to retain it. And the best way to fight for it is by participating. If you don't participate, nobody will come and give it to you in your sitting room. You have to participate. And that is the message. We must encourage everybody, young people, to participate in governance.
And that's how you become part of the Democracy Fight Club.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I wanted to mention now, since we are at the end of our episode, and you the thing that you said at the end reminded me to mention the slogan of the Democracy Fight Club. We will once again reference to the movie. Like the movie, in the movie, the Fight Club has only one rule, and that is do not talk about it. And we here only have one rule. It is always talk about it. So if you want democracy to spread, if you want to be part of democracy, always and always talk about it. Once again, thank you, Bukola, for being our first guest, and you are the officially part of the Democracy Fight Club. Thank you for that. And thanks for everyone listening. Thanks to Generation Democracy, LP, IRI, for supporting, and make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to our channel for more episodes.